You've probably spent your entire life training your brain to save money. Then retirement hits and you're supposed to suddenly do the exact opposite. Our team has seen this challenge with many retirees we've worked with. And here's what many people may not realize. That hesitation you feel when you're about to book a vacation or help your kids with something big, that may not be a sign that your plan is broken. It can be a sign that your habits are still catching up to your new life. We had a client who described feeling like every time they spent money, they were going backwards. Even though her numbers looked great, the psychological shift felt impossible. Now, the examples I share today use adjusted details to protect our clients' privacy, but every situation is based on real patterns from our practice. Today, I'm going to walk you through the same 3 mindset transformations we share with our clients. The ones that can help you move from hesitant to intentional with your spending. The gap between a lifelong saver and becoming a confident spender, that's what we're going to bridge today. And by the way, if you've ever thought, how much can I actually spend in retirement without running out? I'll share a free calculator at the end that can help put all of this into practice. But first, let's talk about why this hesitation can hit even the most prepared retirees. Here's the thing. Most retirement advice often treats this like a simple math problem. Figure out how much you need each month, make sure your investments can cover it, and you're all set. But what our team has learned after working with hundreds of retirees is that the hardest part often isn't mathematical at all. It's psychological. And when you've spent decades perfecting the art of not spending money, your brain may need time to adjust to this new reality. That's normal. Think about it this way. For your entire working life, every dollar you spent was a dollar that couldn't grow for your future. Now suddenly, every dollar you don't spend can become a dollar that's not supporting the life you saved for. The rules may have completely flipped. In your brain, it's still playing by the old rules. So that uncomfortable feeling when you're about to spend money, it's not your gut telling you something's wrong. It's just decades of saving habits that haven't adjusted yet. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, this sounds exactly like me, you're not alone. After working with hundreds of retirees, this is the pattern that we often see. That voice asking, are we sure we can afford this? Shows up even with our most successful clients, couples with great plans who still might feel uncertain about spending. The numbers say one thing, but the feeling says something completely different. Most people stop there and just try to push through the discomfort. But what our team has discovered is that this feeling exists for a specific reason. Therefore, we need to address the second mindset shift, understanding how retirement spending actually works. Most retirement planning often assumes you'll spend the same amount every year. Pull out the same monthly amount from your investments year after year after year. But the real curve, it can be more like a curve than a line. Let me introduce you to something that we call the retirement income curve that we use with our clients to help them visualize how retirement spending actually works. It's based on how people actually spend over 3 distinct phases. The go-go years in your 60s when you're healthy and excited about travel and experiences. The slow-go years in your 70s when things may naturally taper off, and no-go years in your 80s and beyond when spending often focuses on healthcare and daily needs. Understanding this can change everything. Here's a common mistake. People may expect retirement to follow a straight line, so they try to control their spending early when they could be leaning into those go-go years. What often happens is they may slip back into protective mode, pulling back not because they need to, but because it feels safer. We worked with a couple who had done everything right, saved consistently for 40 years, paid off their home, built a strong plan, but just a few months into retirement, they were holding back on everything. Not because of math, but because of mindset, which is exactly why the third transformation is so crucial. It's about moving from understanding to actually feeling confident about spending. So far, we've covered why the hesitation is normal and how spending actually works in retirement. You're already ahead of many people just understanding this. But understanding it versus applying it, those can be two different things. You can understand the spending curve, but still feel nervous about that vacation. You can know your plan is solid, but still hesitate before helping your kids. Therefore, we need something that bridges the gap between knowing and feeling. Remember those 3 mindset transformation I promised? You've now got the framework our team uses with clients. Understanding the hesitation phase is normal, knowing spending follows a curve, and creating permission through purpose. But here's the question we get most often. This makes sense, but how do I actually apply this to my specific situation? Let me show you. This brings us to the 3rd mindset shift, the one that can actually transform how you feel about spending, not just how you think about it. Here's what we did with that couple I mentioned. Instead of seeing their savings as one big pot that they were draining, we divided it into 3 purpose-based buckets. A travel fund for guilt-free enjoyment, a healthcare and safety reserve for security, and a family giving fund to support the people they love, each with its own purpose. Now, some people ask, should we just keep it together as one big pool? And mathematically, it can be the same money, but psychologically, dividing your savings into clear categories can make a huge difference. It can help separate emotion from decision making and may give you permission to spend intentionally rather than hesitantly. That can transform money from a source of anxiety into a tool for the life you actually want. And that can be powerful. This simple structure can give you something that you've been missing: permission. Permission to spend, not out of fear, but out of clarity and intention. And at this moment is when we often finally hear something. I think I finally believe it's okay to enjoy what we've saved for. And that's the moment every retiree deserves to reach. If you're heading into retirement, or maybe you've just made the leap and you're feeling hesitant about spending, that's okay. It doesn't mean your plan is wrong. It may just mean your mindset just needs time and guidance in order to adjust. Here's a simple reflection you can use. Ask yourself, when am I still in saving mode even though I don't need to be? It might show up in small ways: delaying a vacation, skipping dinner with friends, saying not yet when the plan says go ahead. You can recognize where you're stuck in saving mode, but awareness doesn't change the feeling. Therefore, you need to actively practice this new mindset. And the more you can name it, the easier it becomes to move through it. Because the goal isn't just not running out of money, it's living fully with the time you have. And that starts with the confidence and clarity that comes from this simple truth. You probably didn't save for 40 years just to worry about spending it. You saved so you could enjoy the retirement you earned. And that transformation starts today. In that calculator I mentioned, if you're wondering how much can I actually spend each year without worrying, we built a free tool that walks you through the same retirement income curve we just talked about. You can find the link to that below this video. And if this video helped bring you a little more clarity or just made you feel more understood, go ahead and subscribe. We make videos like this every week to simplify retirement and help you more in control. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.